Xennials often appear financially composed yet internally divided, carrying two incompatible stories about money that never fully reconcile. One learned before stability, another promised but rarely delivered. They were raised analog but matured digital, absorbing disciplined restraint early while later being told flexibility and risk would secure prosperity, creating a quiet tension that never fully resolves. Unlike generations before them, they did not inherit certainty, and unlike those after them, they were not taught to expect volatility as normal. This generation learned to work patiently, then watched patience lose status in a faster economy that rewarded visibility over durability. Their wealth behavior often looks inconsistent, cautious in one moment, impulsive in another, not from confusion, but from competing internal rules. They were promised linear progress, education leading to stability, effort leading to security, yet reality introduced detours that felt personal rather than structural. As a result, their relationship with wealth feels unfinished, like a sentence interrupted midway and never fully completed. They measure success quietly, yet feel exposed by it, unsure whether to display achievement or conceal it. This internal conflict produces a subtle exhaustion, not from lack of money alone, but from uncertainty about what wealth should even represent. The Xennial wealth identity is not broken, it is split, shaped by two economic worlds that never agreed with each other. The core psychological tension emerges from formative conditioning built on delayed gratification colliding with an adult economy rewarding immediacy and constant adaptation. Behavioral psychology suggests early reinforcement patterns persist even when environmental rules change. Xennials internalized effort-based reward systems, yet encountered markets where outcomes often detached from effort entirely. This mismatch created cognitive dissonance around money, where discipline no longer reliably predicts security. They oscillate between long-term planning and short-term opportunism, trying to satisfy both internalized frameworks simultaneously. Unlike older cohorts, they cannot fully trust institutions, and unlike younger ones, they cannot fully disengage from them. This results in a cautious autonomy, preferring self-reliance while still seeking external validation of progress. Wealth becomes psychologically ambiguous, both a safety net and a source of identity conflict. They were taught that stability was virtuous, then penalized for resisting change. Their nervous systems learned patience, yet their environments demanded speed. This friction alters risk perception, making them selectively bold yet emotionally conservative. They invest carefully but worry constantly, because certainty was promised but never consistently delivered. Behaviorally, they seek balance, but internally they brace for disruption. Money decisions are filtered through memory of past effort that failed to protect. This produces an underlying vigilance that never fully relaxes even during financial success. They compare themselves upward and downward, uncertain which reference point truly applies. Wealth symbols confuse them, as status markers shifted rapidly during their adulthood. They resist both extravagance and minimalism, unsure which philosophy aligns with security. Their identity attaches to competence rather than display, yet competence no longer guarantees outcome. Ultimately, their wealth psychology reflects adaptation under contradiction, holding discipline and uncertainty in the same mental space. Xennial professional reviews retirement projections at night, calculating carefully, then scrolling job listings afterward, sensing loyalty may no longer protect long-term stability. They save diligently yet feel uneasy spending, even on necessities, because security once felt earned, then quietly revoked by external shifts. At social gatherings, they downplay financial wins, unsure whether success invites admiration or resentment in an era of uneven outcomes. They upgrade technology quickly but delay lifestyle changes, balancing modern demands with older instincts favoring caution. A promotion brings relief rather than pride, as responsibility increases faster than perceived safety. They diversify income streams not from ambition, but from quiet fear of single-point failure. Home ownership feels symbolic yet burdensome, representing achievement and entrapment simultaneously. They track expenses meticulously while occasionally making impulsive purchases that momentarily resolve internal conflict. Career changes occur later than planned, often triggered by burnout rather than curiosity. They mentor younger colleagues while privately doubting whether advice still applies. Savings accounts coexist with speculative investments, reflecting parallel belief systems operating at once. They respect hard work deeply yet notice effort no longer guarantees respect or reward. Family planning decisions are delayed, weighed against financial unpredictability rather than desire alone. They remember stability from childhood households that no longer seem replicable. Conversations about money feel personal, almost moral, rather than purely strategic. They resent hustle culture while feeling quietly guilty for resisting it. Financial planning meetings feel both empowering and sobering, revealing control alongside limitation. They measure progress against expectations formed decades earlier, not current norms. Success feels provisional, as if subject to revision without notice. Their daily behavior reflects careful adaptation rather than confident conviction. This identity conflict originates in early conditioning where patience was rewarded, embedding neural associations between waiting and safety. Later environments violated this contract, introducing randomness that destabilized learned emotional predictions. The brain struggles when reliable effort-based reinforcement disappears, increasing baseline anxiety. Xennials therefore develop hypervigilance around financial signals, scanning for early warning signs. Their cognitive load remains high, as outdated rules compete with current realities. They experience decision fatigue faster, balancing too many contingencies at once. Emotionally, they grieve an imagined future that once felt guaranteed. This grief rarely surfaces consciously, instead manifesting as restlessness or dissatisfaction. They internalize systemic failure as personal miscalculation. This creates self-doubt even in objectively successful individuals. Social comparison becomes confusing, reference groups shifting rapidly across life stages. Their sense of fairness is strained, observing rewards disconnected from merit. Trust erodes gradually, not catastrophically, leaving cautious skepticism in its place. They seek control through planning, yet no plans may not hold. This produces a quiet tension between preparation and acceptance. Neuroscience suggests unresolved uncertainty keeps stress responses partially activated. Thus, relaxation feels incomplete, even during periods of stability. Identity becomes anchored to adaptability rather than confidence. They pride themselves on resilience while resenting the need for it. At depth, this generation carries wealth not as promise, but as negotiation with an unpredictable system. Some who return to this space do so quietly, not seeking certainty, but recognition. If these observations mirror your private reasoning, remaining here can feel less like following, more like shared observation. This channel exists for those comfortable with unresolved questions. If returning helps you sit with complexity rather than escape it, subscribing becomes a soft alignment, not a declaration, simply choosing proximity to a familiar lens. Many believe Xennials failed to adapt, overlooking how often they were required to adapt repeatedly without clear rules. The myth suggests indecision, when the reality is competing internal frameworks. Their caution is mistaken for fear, rather than learned pattern recognition. People assume they resist change, ignoring how much forced change they already absorbed. Another misconception frames them as privileged, erasing the instability that shaped adulthood. Their skepticism is read as negativity, not calibrated realism. They are accused of lacking ambition, despite sustained effort under shifting conditions. Wealth gaps are personalized, blamed on choices rather than structural timing. Success stories erase survivorship bias, deepening internal self-doubt. Their financial anxiety is dismissed because they appear functional. Planning is mocked as rigidity, though volatility demanded it. They are told to relax, without ever being given conditions that felt safe. Adaptability is praised publicly, yet punished economically. Their restraint is misunderstood as emotional distance. The truth is that their struggle is not failure, but misalignment with promises that expired early. The Xennial wealth identity lives between memory and adaptation, carrying rules learned early and revised reluctantly. They are not confused about money, they are negotiating with time. Each decision weighs past assurances against present volatility. Wealth never feels final, only provisional. Security is experienced as temporary permission, not entitlement. They move forward carefully, aware progress can reverse quietly. Their calm masks constant recalibration. What they seek is not excess, but coherence. In a world that changed mid-sentence, they continue speaking carefully. Their wealth story is not unfinished, it is permanently written in pencil.